You might think you know what happened at Michigan yesterday, but you don't. If you think this is just about a coach getting fired for losing games, you are missing the darkest story in college football history. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through a timeline that includes a 55% hush money salary spike, a secret abortion that is rocking the university, and a police standoff last night that reportedly left the former Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore suicidal. Moore isn't just unemployed right now. He's sitting in a jail cell. But while the world is staring at the handcuffs, nobody is looking at the bank account. I'm going to show you how this tragedy just saved Michigan $12 million and why insiders believe the athletic director knew about this since October and let it all happen. And finally, I'm going to reveal the one name that nobody is talking about to replace him. Everybody is looking at Kalen DeBoer, but I'm going to tell you why the perfect hire is a sleeper candidate that's currently coaching out in the desert, a man who is an offensive genius and just crazy enough to take this job. Buckle up. We are going to dive into one of the darkest days, maybe the darkest day in Michigan football history. We'll establish a timeline here in just a moment, but this story isn't going away. It's going to be huge. So I don't ask this on every video, but make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss any of it. If you enjoy the content, if you hate the content, if you just want more of it and can't look away, hit that subscribe button here at College Football Addiction. The timeline is this. It escalates from bad to horror movie very quickly. Yesterday afternoon, the news broke. Sherrone Moore is out, fired for cause. Now, usually for cause in college football is just legal speak to get out of a buyout. We thought maybe it was NCAA violations, right? Maybe the manifesto finally caught up to him. Maybe he had someone on the sideline dressed in the other team's uniforms. No, it was so much worse. Hours after the firing, reports started flying that police were called to Moore's residence. By last night, Sherrone Moore was in handcuffs. The charge, assault. And who did he allegedly assault? The same staffer that was at the center of the investigation that got him fired. The details getting leaked right now are heavy. We're hearing reports that when police arrived to arrest him, Moore wasn't just angry, he was spiraling. There are multiple reports circulating that he became suicidal during the encounter with law enforcement. This wasn't just a coach losing his job. This was a man whose entire life was collapsing in real time. He's currently in jail. The man who was coaching the national champions is in a cell. But to understand why he snapped, you have to follow the money, and specifically a very shady 55% raise. Now, you don't get fired for cause in the afternoon and arrested for assault at night unless there is a long, dark history leading up to it. Here is what the internet investigators and insiders are piecing together. Sherrone Moore allegedly had an affair with a female personal assistant. Now, affairs happen in college football. Sadly, that's not new. Just look at what sank Arkansas coach Bobby Petrino. But here is where it crosses the line into corruption. Reports indicate that Moore used his power to grant this assistant a massive salary spike, a 55% raise seemingly out of nowhere. Why the raise? Well, the rumor mill, and this is being backed up by some loud voices over on X right now, is that this was hush money. The allegation is that he got this assistant pregnant and then pressured her or made her, according to some reports, get an abortion. The 55% raise was the paper trail. That's what got him caught by the university. But the assault, that reportedly happened yesterday when he realized that the walls were closing in. And he allegedly took it out on the very person he was trying to keep quiet. And if you think this blindsided everyone, just listen to Josh Pate. Josh started talking about this weeks ago. Pate said explicitly that he started hearing whispers about this back in October. He said, and I'll quote, "Every agent in football has known this opening was coming for weeks," end quote. Think about that. While we were analyzing blocking schemes and playoff brackets, the Sharks were already circling Ann Arbor because they knew Moore was a dead man walking. Let's be cynical for a second. Let's talk about the business of college football. Michigan is getting crushed in the PR battle right now. It's embarrassing. It's tragic. But if you look at the balance sheet, Michigan is sitting pretty. And you know the old saying, any press is good press. Well, Sherrone Moore had close to $20 million left on his contract. If they fire him for losing games, they owe him something like $12 million. If they fire him because he broke the morality clause in his contract by funneling university money to a mistress, they don't owe him anything. So they save over $12 million immediately. And you have to ask the question, how long did Athletic Director Warde Manuel know? If Josh Pate knew in October, if agents knew in October, did the AD know? Did he sit on this information, let Moore coach, and then wait for the perfect moment to drop the hammer so that he could fire him for cause and save his boosters a fortune? There are big money boosters right now using this tragedy to try and get rid of Warde Manuel too. They're asking, if you knew, why didn't you stop it? Are these big boosters going to push to clean the AD out as well? That's certainly possible. It's a brave new world at Michigan. And they also kept a recruiting class fully intact. Do you know how hardcore you have to be to keep this a secret through signing day? Who needs ethics, right? Michigan is just proving that they are willing to win at all costs, just like they did with Harbaugh. And they are definitely not the only ones. So we'll see if the Michigan Board of Trustees feel any differently, and if they decide to move on from AD Warde Manuel. But from a financial standpoint, Michigan fans should be happy. Manuel just cleared the books. He now has a full war chest to go out and buy the next coach. And that brings us to the most important part of the video. Who is coming next? Michigan is a top 5 job, scandals aside. They have the money, they have the roster, and now they have a clean cap sheet. First, you have the dream target, and that's Kalen DeBoer. The fans want him, but let's be real for a minute. Pulling DeBoer away from Alabama after what he is clearly building there is going to be tough. It's nearly impossible. It's certainly the first phone call you make, but I'd guess that it's likely a short conversation. Alabama has pretty endless resources, and he's settling in. But DeBoer is a Midwesterner, and I don't know many Midwesterners who prefer Alabama over the Midwest. Now, I'm a Southern guy. I love it down here. The politics, though, and the heat aren't necessarily for everyone. Some people enjoy hard work and having to shovel snow for 4 months of the year. Maybe DeBoer is one of them. Then you have the logical target. That's Jedd Fisch. He's currently at Washington. He knows the Big Ten now, and he's a Michigan man at heart. He was an assistant there under Harbaugh. I think Michigan could easily land him. He'd probably crawl to Ann Arbor. But is he the splash hire they need to wash away this scandal? Maybe not. Which brings me to the sleeper, the guy that nobody is talking about, the guy who is currently coaching out west, has SEC experience, and is an offensive genius. I'm talking about the current coach over at UNLV, Dan Mullen. Now, hear me out. Dan Mullen was epic at Florida before things went sideways. He developed Dak Prescott at Mississippi State, then Trask at UF. He was also at UF when Tebow was there as the offensive coordinator. He's an offensive savant. He's been rehabbing his image at UNLV and showing that he can still coach. Mullen is the chaos candidate. He brings the offensive firepower Michigan desperately lacks, and he has the thick skin to handle the media circus that is about to descend on Ann Arbor. He's the sleeper no one is considering because he just makes too much sense. Before we go, I have to ask one final question about this entire Michigan saga, the cheating scandal, the vacuum cleaners, the manifesto, and now the arrest of the head coach. You look at the wild culture of the Harbaugh era, and you look at the absolute absurdity of the Connor Stallions situation, and you have to wonder, jokingly, in the back of your mind, was this all part of the master plan? Did Connor Stallions write this chapter in the manifesto too? One thing is for sure, the past several years at Michigan have been an absolute roller coaster ride. If you ask any Michigan fan, was it worth the national championship? They'll all tell you, heck yeah. So you can expect more and more of this in college football. National championships live forever, even if the cost is some drama. Now, maybe not quite this much drama, but nonetheless. Let me know in the comments, Michigan fans, was the past few years worth the natty? Who do you think Michigan hires? Is it DeBoer? Is it Jedd Fisch? Or is it time for the Dan Mullen redemption arc? Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe on the way out. We appreciate you guys for watching. We appreciate Sleeper for their support. Use our code CFA for a 100% match up to $100. And we'll see you next time on College Football Addiction.